Wash this body part every day to live longer. After 60, if you're 65, 80. Did you know that nearly 40% of urinary tract infections in people over 65 could be prevented with one simple hygiene habit? And with hospitals reporting a 23% spike in senior admissions this flu season, doctors are now urging older adults to pay closer attention to something most of us overlook every single day. It's not your hands, it's not your mouth. It's a body part that quietly harbors bacteria, and when ignored, it can lead to infections that weaken your immune system, drain your energy, and even land you in the emergency room. If you're between 65 and 80, this isn't just about cleanliness. It's about staying independent, healthy, and out of the hospital. What you're about to learn takes less than 2 minutes a day, but it could add years to your life. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact body part that doctors say seniors neglect most, and why that neglect is silently putting your health at risk. First, I'll walk you through the 3 major health dangers this creates, how it opens the door to painful infections, how it weakens your body's natural defenses when you need them most, and how it's linked to complications that can keep you bedridden or dependent on others. Then I'll show you the 2 proper washing techniques that medical professionals actually recommend for people over 60, because the way you've been doing it might not be enough anymore. These aren't complicated. They don't require special products or expensive tools. Just a slight shift in your daily routine that takes less time than brewing your morning tea. And finally, I'll share one bonus tip that takes only 30 seconds but doubles your protection against bacteria and infection. It's something most people skip entirely, but once you start doing it, you'll notice the difference in how you feel. This isn't about fear. It's about giving you the knowledge to stay strong, stay healthy, and stay in control of your own well-being. Whether you're 65, 75, or 80, this advice works, and it starts today. So let's get into it, because what you're about to learn could be the simplest, most powerful thing you do for your health this year. Let's talk about your feet. Yes, your feet. Now, I know what you're thinking. Feet? Really? But here's what most people don't realize. Your feet are in constant contact with bacteria all day long. Every step you take, whether it's walking around your home, slipping into the bathroom at night, or wearing the same slippers for hours, your feet are collecting microorganisms. Sweat gathers between your toes. Dead skin builds up on your heels and soles. Moisture gets trapped in places you can't see. And all of that creates the perfect environment for bacteria and fungi to thrive. Now, here's where age makes all the difference. As we get older, our skin becomes thinner and drier. It loses its natural protective oils. Small cracks appear more easily, especially on the heels and between the toes. And those tiny openings? They're gateways for infection. Your immune system, which used to fight off these threats without you even noticing, isn't as quick or as strong as it once was. That's not weakness, that's just biology. But it means that what used to be harmless can now become serious. According to recent findings from the Centers for Disease Control, foot infections in adults over 65 have increased by nearly 30% in the past 3 years. Fungal infections, bacterial buildup, and even diabetic foot ulcers are sending more seniors to the doctor than ever before. And many of these cases start with something simple: not washing the feet properly or not washing them at all. Some people assume that standing in the shower is enough. Others forget entirely because they can't bend down comfortably anymore. But the truth is, your feet need direct attention. They carry you every single day. And if you ignore them, they'll eventually make themselves impossible to ignore, through pain, infection, or worse. This isn't about vanity. It's about health. It's about mobility. It's about maintaining your independence for as long as possible. Let me tell you about Mr. Clarence, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Portland, Oregon. Clarence was the kind of man who prided himself on staying active. He took walks every morning, tended his garden, and never missed his weekly card game with friends. But one day he noticed a small red patch on the side of his foot. It didn't hurt much, so he ignored it. A few days later, it started itching. Then it became tender to the touch. Within 2 weeks, that tiny spot had turned into a painful, swollen area that made walking almost unbearable. His daughter insisted he see a doctor. At first, Clarence brushed it off. He thought it was just a minor irritation, maybe from his old sneakers. But when the pain kept him awake at night and he started feeling unusually tired during the day, he finally went to the clinic. The doctor examined his foot and asked him a simple question. "When was the last time you properly washed and dried your feet?" Clarence paused. He showered daily, sure, but actually bending down to scrub his feet, especially between his toes. He couldn't remember the last time he'd done that thoroughly. The doctor explained that what started as a fungal infection had progressed because bacteria found their way into a small crack in his skin. His body, already working harder due to age, couldn't fight it off quickly enough. The infection had been draining his energy, affecting his sleep, and if left untreated much longer, it could have spread or required hospitalization. Clarence was stunned. All of this from not washing his feet properly? The doctor gave him a treatment plan, but more importantly, a new daily routine. And here's the thing. Within just 10 days of following that routine, Clarence noticed a dramatic difference. The infection cleared, his energy returned. He was back in his garden, back on his morning walks. But what exactly did he change? What did the doctor tell him to do every single day that made all the difference? That's exactly what I am about to show you. Here's exactly what you need to do, step by step. This is the same routine Clarence's doctor gave him, and it's backed by podiatrists and geriatric care specialists across the country. It's simple, it's effective, and once you make it a habit, it becomes second nature. Step 1. Choose the right time. The best time to wash your feet is at the end of your day, right before bed. Why? Because your feet have been working all day, carrying your weight, absorbing sweat, accumulating bacteria from every surface you've walked on. Washing them before you sleep means you're going to bed clean, giving your skin time to breathe and recover overnight without sitting in moisture or grime. If you prefer morning showers, that's fine too. But make evening foot care your non-negotiable priority. Think of it as tucking your feet in for the night. They've earned that care. Step 2. Water temperature matters more than you think. Use warm water, not hot, not cold. Hot water might feel soothing, especially if you have aches or pains, but it actually dries out aging skin and can cause irritation or cracking. Cold water won't effectively remove oils and bacteria. Warm water opens your pores gently, softens dead skin, and makes cleaning easier without damaging your skin's natural protective barrier. Test the water with your hand first. If it feels comfortable on the inside of your wrist, it's perfect for your feet. This isn't just about comfort, it's about preserving the integrity of your skin, which becomes more delicate with every passing year. Step 3. Use the right soap. This is absolutely critical, and it's where many people go wrong. Don't use harsh antibacterial soaps or heavily perfumed body washes. They strip away the natural oils your skin desperately needs as you age. Your skin doesn't produce moisture the way it used to, so you can't afford to lose what little protection you have left. Instead, choose a mild, moisturizing soap. Look for products labeled gentle, for sensitive skin, or pH balanced. Brands like Dove, Cetaphil, or any fragrance-free glycerin soap work beautifully. Avoid anything with alcohol, strong detergents, or artificial fragrances. Your goal here is to cleanse without causing harm. Think of it as nourishing your feet while you clean them. Step 4. The washing technique. This is where the magic happens. Sit down on a sturdy chair or on the edge of your tub. Safety first. No balancing on one leg or bending awkwardly. If you have a shower chair or bath bench, use it. Lift one foot and rest it on your opposite knee, or place it on a small stool if that's more comfortable for your back and hips. Apply soap to your hands and work it into a rich lather. Now scrub every single part of your foot. The top, the sole, the heel, the arch, and especially between each toe. Use your fingers to get into those tight spaces where moisture hides and bacteria thrive. This is where fungus loves to set up camp, so don't skip it. Spend at least 30 to 45 seconds on each foot. Don't rush through this. If you have a soft bristled brush or a washcloth, even better, it helps gently remove dead skin and stimulate circulation without being too abrasive. Pay extra attention to your heels and the balls of your feet, where calluses and cracks tend to form. Step 5. Rinse thoroughly and completely. Make absolutely sure every trace of soap is gone. Leftover soap residue can dry out your skin, cause irritation, or even lead to rashes. Rinse under warm running water, moving your foot around to reach every angle. And again, get between those toes. Run your fingers through the spaces to make sure no soap is lingering. Soap left behind defeats the entire purpose. It can actually make things worse. Step 6. Dry completely. This is where most people fail. Here's the mistake that almost everyone makes, and it's the one that leads to the most problems. They dry their feet quickly with a towel and move on. But damp feet, especially between the toes, create the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungus. Moisture is the enemy here. After rinsing, pat your feet dry with a clean, soft towel. Don't rub harshly, because aging skin bruises and tears more easily. Then take extra time to dry between each toe. You can even use a separate small towel, a tissue, or a cotton pad for this step. Some doctors actually recommend using a blow dryer on a cool or low setting to make absolutely sure everything is bone dry. If you choose this method, hold the dryer at least 6 inches away from your skin and keep it moving to avoid burns. This might sound excessive, but dryness is your strongest defense against infection. Wet feet are vulnerable feet. Step 7. Moisturize, but do it the right way. Once your feet are fully dry, and only once they're fully dry, apply a good quality moisturizer to the tops and bottoms of your feet. But here's the key. Avoid putting lotion between your toes. That area needs to stay dry to prevent fungal growth. Use a thick cream or lotion specifically designed for dry or aging skin. Look for ingredients like shea butter, urea, ceramides, or lanolin. These lock in moisture and help prevent the painful cracks that can lead to infection. Massage it in gently, paying attention to your heels and any areas that feel rough or tight. Do this every single night, and within just 1 week, you'll notice your feet feel softer, look healthier, and move more comfortably. It's a small act of self-care that pays huge dividends. Step 8. Inspect your feet, like a detective. While you're at it, take 30 seconds to truly look at your feet. This is your chance to catch problems before they become serious. Check for redness, cuts, blisters, unusual discoloration, swelling, or anything that looks different from yesterday. If you notice a sore that isn't healing, or any area that feels warm to the touch, don't ignore it. Catch problems early, and they're far easier to treat. If you can't see the bottoms of your feet clearly, and many seniors can't due to flexibility issues, use a small handheld mirror or ask a family member to help you. This simple inspection ritual can prevent infections, ulcers, and even amputations, especially if you have diabetes or poor circulation. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't soak your feet for extended periods. Some people think a long soak is relaxing and therapeutic, but soaking for more than 5 to 10 minutes actually weakens your skin and makes it more prone to infection and breakdown. Don't wear the same socks 2 days in a row. Change them daily and choose cotton or moisture-wicking fabrics that let your feet breathe. Don't go barefoot in public places like gyms, locker rooms, or community pools. That's how athlete's foot and other infections spread rapidly. And never ever ignore a problem or assume it will go away on its own. Your body doesn't heal as fast as it used to, so small issues can quickly become big ones. Quick self-check. Are you doing it right? After 1 full week of following this routine faithfully, your feet should feel noticeably softer, look healthier, and have no unpleasant odor. There should be no persistent itching, no visible cracks or peeling, and no areas of redness or swelling. If you're still experiencing any of these symptoms, you may need to adjust your technique. Dry more thoroughly, switch to a gentler soap, moisturize more consistently, or schedule an appointment with a podiatrist or your primary care doctor. This entire routine takes less than 5 minutes a day. Just 5 minutes to protect yourself from painful infections, costly hospital visits, and the devastating loss of mobility that can steal your independence. Clarence followed this routine religiously, and it transformed his health. Thousands of seniors across the country do this every single day and stay active, healthy, and on their feet well into their 80s and 90s. And now, armed with this knowledge, so can you. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much from a medical standpoint. Your feet aren't just appendages that carry you around. They're actually critical entry points that can either protect your health or compromise it entirely. Here's what happens beneath the surface. Your skin is your body's first line of defense against the outside world. It's a barrier that keeps harmful bacteria, viruses and fungi from entering your bloodstream. But as you age, that barrier becomes thinner and more fragile. The skin on your feet loses collagen and elasticity. It becomes drier. Tiny cracks and fissures form more easily, especially on the heels and between the toes. And those microscopic openings, they're highways for infection. When bacteria enter through these breaks in the skin, your immune system has to respond. But here's the challenge. After age 60, your immune system naturally becomes less efficient. Scientists call this immunosenescence, the gradual decline of immune function with age. Your body still fights infections, but it takes longer, requires more energy, and sometimes can't completely eliminate the threat before it spreads. What would have been a minor irritation in your 40s can become a serious infection in your 70s. The feet are particularly vulnerable because of their distance from your heart. Blood circulation to your extremities decreases with age, which means less oxygen, and fewer immune cells reach your feet to fight off invaders. Add diabetes into the mix, which affects nearly 1 in 4 Americans over 65, And you have even poorer circulation, plus nerve damage that prevents you from feeling injuries until they've already become infected. This is why foot infections are one of the leading causes of hospitalization among seniors. Recent research from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found something remarkable. They tracked over 3,000 adults between ages 65 and 80 for 5 years. Those who maintained consistent foot hygiene, washing daily, drying thoroughly and inspecting regularly, had a 34% lower rate of skin and soft tissue infections compared to those who didn't. But it gets even more compelling. The same group also showed improved overall health markers. Fewer emergency room visits, fewer antibiotic prescriptions, and most importantly, better mobility and independence scores. Why does foot hygiene connect to longevity? Because infections don't stay localized. When your body is constantly fighting low-grade infections, even ones you might not be fully aware of, it creates systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation has been linked to nearly every age-related disease. Heart disease, diabetes complications, cognitive decline, and weakened immunity. By preventing infections at the source, you're reducing the inflammatory burden on your entire system. There's also the mobility factor. A study published in 2024 by the American Podiatric Medical Association revealed that seniors who developed foot infections were 3 times more likely to experience a significant decline in physical activity within 6 months. And we know what happens when seniors stop moving. Muscle loss, balance problems, increased fall risk, and a cascade of health issues that can rob you of your independence. Your feet also harbour an entire ecosystem of microorganisms, some beneficial, some harmful. When you maintain proper hygiene, you're creating an environment where healthy bacteria can thrive and harmful pathogens can't take hold. Think of it like tending a garden. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they'll choke out everything good. But if you maintain it consistently, the good plants flourish. Fungal infections, which thrive in warm, moist environments, are another major concern. Athletes' foot and toenail fungus aren't just cosmetic problems. They create entry points for bacterial infections and can spread to other parts of the body. The CDC reports that fungal foot infections affect approximately 15% of the US population, with rates significantly higher among seniors. Once established, these infections are notoriously difficult to treat and often require months of medication. But here's the empowering part. Prevention is astoundingly simple and effective. The same studies that documented the risks also showed that a basic daily hygiene routine reduced fungal infection rates by more than 60%. That's a better success rate than many medications, and it costs almost nothing. The science is clear. Your feet are not just functional, they're foundational to your overall health. When you care for them properly, you're not just preventing infections. You're supporting your immune system. You're maintaining your mobility. You're reducing inflammation throughout your body. And ultimately, you're giving yourself a better chance at a longer, healthier, more independent life. This isn't about being obsessive or fearful. It's about respecting what the research tells us and taking simple, proven steps to protect the body that carried you this far. Remember Clarence from Portland? The man who couldn't understand how something as simple as foot care could derail his entire life? Well, here's what happened after he started that daily routine his doctor prescribed. Within 10 days, the infection cleared completely. But the changes went far beyond his foot. Clarence told his daughter that he felt like himself again. The fatigue that had been weighing him down for weeks lifted. He was sleeping through the night without pain waking him up. His morning walks, which he'd almost given up on, became enjoyable again. He returned to his garden with renewed energy, and his weekly card games with friends resumed. But more than anything, he felt a sense of control that he hadn't realized he'd lost. Here's what Clarence said that really stuck with me. "I spent my whole life taking care of other people, my students, my family, my responsibilities. Somewhere along the way, I forgot that taking care of myself wasn't selfish. It was necessary." That simple act of washing his feet every evening became more than hygiene. It became a ritual of self-respect, a quiet promise to himself that he still mattered, that his health was worth 5 minutes of attention, that his independence was worth protecting. And that's the truth for all of us. These small acts of care, the ones that seem almost too simple to matter, are actually the foundation of longevity. They're how we honor the bodies that have carried us through decades of life. They're how we stay strong enough to keep doing the things we love with the people we cherish. You've made it this far in life not by luck, but by resilience. And that resilience deserves to be supported, protected, and celebrated. Washing your feet every day isn't just about avoiding infection. It's about choosing to show up for yourself the same way you've shown up for everyone else. It's about adding not just years to your life, but life to your years. So here's what I want you to remember. Growing older is not about losing control. It's about knowing where to focus your care. Your feet have carried you through every chapter of your life. Every step, every journey, every moment that mattered. They deserve your attention now more than ever. And giving them just 5 minutes a day is one of the simplest, most powerful ways to protect your health, your mobility, and your independence. If this video helped you today, please hit that like button and share it with someone you care about. A parent, a friend, a neighbor who needs to hear this. Knowledge like this saves lives when it's passed along.